So let's first welcome Joseph Lin, a famous DJ at ICRT. He has nominated for the Best Top 40 Pop Radio Host at the Golden Bell Awards. So please put your hands together for Joseph Lin.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for that kind introduction. I'm not a very famous DJ. I'm just a DJ. Hi, good morning. My name is Joseph Lin, and welcome to COMPUTEX InnoVEX's Global Stars Demo Time. And like our host, our MC says, we have a lot of amazing companies that have revolutionary products right here. And the first one is something that really awed me when I found out about it. Right now, please welcome on stage from DRONAMICS. It is Mr. Svelen. Is that correct?
Svelen.
Svelen, all right. Mr. Svelen, welcome, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you.
Go ahead. Do you have any slides that you want to introduce first and give us like an overview of what DRONAMICS is doing? Or just a talk?
I'll just go through a real brief introduction. So my brother and I started this company 2 years ago. We haven't shaved since, so I apologize for the beard.
I heard there is a story behind that.
Yeah. We hate beards, and we're building an airplane. So we decided as soon as the big airplane flies, that's when we get to shave. Obviously, we were a little optimistic. So the problem we were solving is air cargo. Air cargo is very inefficient. And that's because companies use huge airplanes which cost millions of dollars, and it's very and demand meanwhile is like a beating heart. It's very hard to, I mean, it's you have slow days and busy days, and they all average at about 40–50%. So most of the times these airplanes are half full, and this is why whenever you send something overseas with a like Super Express, it costs so much. Air is the most expensive mode of transportation, but it's only used for 1% of the of global trade, and this is typically the most expensive 1%. And the solution we're building, our airplane, will make sure that we capture that. We are able to bring down the cost of transportation dramatically, and this is the airplane that we're building. It's a big drone, basically 8 meters long, 1.50 meters in diameter. It can carry 350 kilograms over 2,500 kilometers. So 2,500 kilometers is about the distance between Taipei and Osaka, to give you an idea.
Yes.
And 350 kilograms is what you can put in your car and just and get in and drive off.
So you guys are literally building airplanes. I mean, when I first found out about this, I thought it's just maybe, you know, everyone's into drones right now and, you know, tiny apparatuses, but this is an actual flyable but unmanned
yes.
airplane. How long has this technology been under development now?
So we've worked on this for 2 years. We've gone through a few iterations, prototyping. We've flown numerous small-scale models, and this latest design, right now we're building the big-scale model, which will fly in the next few months.
It's a prototype at this point.
It's a prototype, yes.
All right. But has there's been flight testing that has been undergoing already?
Not with the big one yet.
Okay.
Just with small-scale versions. But yeah, we're very excited because this will be the first time a civilian aircraft of this size will be flown unmanned.
There's going to be a lot of questions about this on the technical side, but also on the aviation side as well. But let's just talk about the technical side right here. Unmanned, it's remotely controlled, or it has its own automatic coordinate systems that it does autopiloting?
It has both. It has to have both because of redundancy. So because our vision is for this to be used in an existing cargo network, you will always know where it needs to go. So you could pre-program the route coordinates.
Okay.
But there will also be the ability for manual oversight and manual control, if need be, to be redirected for some reason.
But do you feel this technology has already gotten to maturity at this point? I mean, we're in a day and age where automobiles are slowly becoming automated and unmanned, and that's still in a very early stage, if you will, for commercial purposes. How about for your airplanes?
Actually, automation, when it comes to aviation, is already here.
That's true.
All the airplanes that we flew to Taipei on, they can land themselves, they can fly themselves. Actually, in Europe, pilots are required to land by hand only once every 30 days. And yeah, so this is already, the technology has matured. Now, what's taking us so long is making sure that it's safe and it works every time, because that's, with such a big flying machine, it's very important.
Right, right. And you're true. You're right about that. I think a lot of people forget that existing commercial airplanes are on autopilot, you know, most of the time, and the pilots don't really need to do much unless it's an emergency situation. But also, what's amazing about your aircraft is the cost. And I'm not an expert in, you know, how much an airplane would cost, but right there on the slide it says about $250,000 US. I assume that's the currency we're talking about, correct?
Right. Yeah. So
that's pretty inexpensive, isn't it?
Yeah. So for about this much money, you could. There are some small airplanes, maybe two-seater aircraft or one-seater aircraft that you could buy, but they don't have the payload capabilities, and also their fuel consumption and all these other operating costs are much higher. So the military has built drones of this size for years, right? But these machines cost 2 million and more. And for cargo, for 2 million, you could buy an airplane that can carry 2 tons. So that has been, you know, another fact of the challenge that we're facing is how to, not just to make a solution, because we know technologically it can be done, but also how to make it in a cheap way for that particular industry. Because cargo is all about cost and time of delivery, but mainly cost.
But that, what I'm saying is that is a realistic figure right there.
Yes, yes, we're very confident that we can achieve that. And you know, we're based in Bulgaria, so we take advantage of some cost, you know, benefits there.
Now, talking about the aviation side, and what I mean by that is regulations and laws that go against, you know, flights of any kind, even drones today. They're coming up with new laws on how to limit the airspace that they can fly over. How is this going to be with Black Swan?
You're very right. Military drones of that size, the military doesn't ask for permission.
Correct.
But for civilian operation, we'll need permission in every country. And it's both a good thing and a bad thing that every country gets to decide for itself how to treat unmanned technology. So this is why we're talking to several countries in parallel, seeing where we could test first.
All right.
But obviously, this technology needs to bring some benefit, not just to the cargo industry by being cheaper, but also to society. Otherwise, we wouldn't be permitted. And this is why we're looking for, ideally, the use case would be connecting remote regions, remote towns, and there's a lot of countries which face these problems. Roads are too expensive to build, you know, these are island countries and so on.
Right. Okay. So there's still a lot of, you know, things and obstacles to deal with in the future, for sure. But at least we're at a stage where we're ready for that, basically. But you just brought up a good point about this. I mean, it not only revolutionizes, you know, air cargo and hopefully cut the cost down a little bit, but it also allows you to reach to remote areas where delivery of goods is difficult.
Well, you could think of it, the delivery is part of the price in anything. Like you order something on Amazon, you get free shipping. Well, it's not really free. Somebody's paying for that.
Correct.
And the same, it's even worse for people who are in communities which are very remote, because then the price of retail goods is much higher because of the cost of getting stuff there. So on one hand, everything you buy costs more than for somebody in a big city. And on the other hand, all these inputs, you cannot really develop a good business because everything costs so much. So anything you produce, you need to sell it for much higher cost, and you cannot be very competitive to somebody in a big city. Which is why you've seen this exodus from rural communities to the city everywhere in the world in the past 50 years and more. So better delivery networks could help that. It's like the blood system. If you don't get enough blood, an organ will fail.
Sure, sure.
Right.
How's the funding going for this right now? I mean, you guys are still looking for more funds. I mean, this is not a inexpensive project. This is a costly project.
Right. Yeah. It costs a lot to make something cheap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, we went through an accelerator in Bulgaria. We have a venture fund invested in us from Austria, and we're bringing in some angel investments. And once we fly, once we demonstrate this technology, we will be raising a lot more money.
I am sure, and people here who might be interested could get a kickstart, right?
Yeah.
Your date of launch right now, tentatively, is sometime within the next
this
year.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is coming true sooner than we think.
Yeah, maybe this much from now.
And that's what the beard is about too. And until you guys successfully launch, you're not trimming that beard.
Not even trimming, not styling.
Same thing with your brother.
Yes, same thing.
You're like the new Wright brothers of this century.
Well, maybe, yeah.
All right. Anything you want to add? Time's up already.
I mean, this is definitely not. I mean, it was started by me and my brother. We were able to attract a lot of brilliant people, people who have worked for NASA and so on. And it's we'll need all the help we can get. So stop by our booth. We're at 538A, and
cool.
Yeah, I'll see you.
DRONAMICS, that is, right?
Svilin, yes.
Svilin, like villain with an S.
Like a villain with an S.
Okay, there it is. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Amazing.
Thank you.
And just like Svilin, it's timely with an S. Mr. Joshua Steimle is our next moderator, who's going to also be the moderator of to this morning and this afternoon. He's also the founder and CEO of MWI. Please welcome him. Thank you.
All right, we're good now. All right, thank you, everybody. So we've got Alan from TOII, and he's going to give a brief introduction, and then we'll dive in with some questions. Take it away, Alan.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm Alan with TOII. And our company name is TOII, so we do make toys. We have teammates from New York, San Francisco, and also Taipei. Okay. So what we make is the integration of the AR, augmented reality, and mobile gaming, and also location-based service. So for location-based service, the most popular and most famous example is the Ingress. It's a game company merged by Google, and it has 100 million users, players. And unlike other mobile gaming, players have to go out and explore the real city in the real world to battle virtually, not physically, for sure. And for AR, the idea we got is from the app. It's called Street Museum. It's an app designed by the Museum of London. So the Museum of London wants the people in the city to go out and explore the real history on the street. So this is what we are making right now. So what we are making is we work with the metro company. I cannot tell you which metro company, but you probably can guess. And we design 7 to 12 stations, so players have to download our app and go out and explore the city. And when they complete the mission, the metro company will give them the reward, special reward. So we got a rockstar team. I'm Alan, and we got whole very diverse talents. And if you have more questions, you feel free to check out our booth. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Alan. Yeah. All right, so rapid fire questions here. So is this your whole team, the 6 people? Do you have any more people on the team?
Yeah. We do have one more intern in Taiwan.
Okay. So it's a small team right now. When did you guys start?
We just start like last summer. So we pretty much very close to our first annual anniversary. So we are very excited. Yeah.
Great. And you already have some customers, it looks like. You have some people who are testing out the technology.
Yeah. When we present, for example, the Street Museum, the app with the government unit, and they are very excited. Oh, this can apply to the to promote the local tourists, right? So they are very willing to work with us. Yeah.
Now this is interesting because you're using virtual technology, you're using the experience on a smartphone to get people out into the real world and interacting with things in the real world, learning history, for example, in this museum scenario.
Yeah.
Dive into this a little bit more. Help us understand better how this helps the museum and exactly where your technology comes in.
Okay, so the Museum of London, for example, they feel, people read the history from, or see the picture from the textbook, or just limited to the museum, right? There are some physical limitation. So they work with the company and they build the app. They want to bring more people download the app and see the history on the real street. So you can see, what's happening on my street in World War II or before. So it's kind of awesome, the idea. Yeah.
It takes the museum exhibit out into the real world,
Right.
so you can go to those spots where that history happened, and then you can use your smartphone and see exactly what was going on there.
Right.
50 years ago, 100 years ago, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an example with museums. Now, when I stopped by your booth yesterday, you also showed me some physical toys that are
Right.
being used with your application. Can you talk a little bit more about those?
Yeah, so what we are making, that's where our company name TOII comes from. So we do the integration of the physical toy. We use the NFC chip, NFC tag, so you can use it's basically the same idea. You use your smartphone to activate the physical figurine on your smartphone. So the player can not only collect the physical figurine, but they also they can build out their teams, or they build out their own heroes characters on their mobile. So player can play around with their friends or other players around the world. That's the basic idea with the physical connection with the toy.
So who would be the customer in that scenario? Who would be producing these toys, selling these toys, producing that game?
Yeah, we are working with some like a IP holder. They have some famous characters. We're working with them. So say, you not only want your character figurines and have the users buy it and put on their shelf. You want them to be more alive, right? You want them to interact with the toys physically, virtually. So that's how we approach and work with some famous IP company.
So a toy company might come to you and say,
Yeah.
hey, we've got our physical toy. We
Yeah.
want you to create a virtual version of this toy
Yeah,
and
exactly.
create a game
Right.
or some sort of quest, some sort of activity to go
Right.
along with our toy
Yeah.
and now this virtual toy, and we want to make them interact together.
Yeah.
And so you come in and you provide that service, you tie that all together, you create the game, you create the virtual world that connects with that real world toy. Is that correct?
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Okay. So there's an element of, there's really some services within your company. So you have applications that you're building, but you're providing a service to your customers. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So what are some other use cases? What are some other examples you can tell us about that you might do in the future with your technology?
Well, we are very focused on the project right now to work with the metro company. We think it's a big title, and we will announce in July actually in a city in Taiwan. So we are very focused on the project. We want to make our best on the project. So this is the only thing we are focused right now. But we think once we build out the template, it's like a successful template. If it's success, right? Then we can apply the model to different, for example, different public transportation systems or other cities. They are very interested to use the location-based game to promote their local tourists or to promote their cities. So yeah.
Uh-huh. And have you raised any funding for this, or are you bootstrapping it?
Well, yeah, so I don't know if I should mention that here. So we try to raise some funding, but when we travel back to Taiwan, when we pitch with the investor in Taiwan, as you may know already, the Taiwanese investors are very conservative, right? So they want you to prove you can make money already. So before I give you money, you make sure you make money already. So okay, we think okay, we are too early for that. So probably we just find a customer and prove by ourselves. Hey man, we can do this. Yeah, now maybe it's your turn to think about if you want to invest us or not.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes with investors. They want you to prove that you don't need their money, and then they want to give you money. So,
Yeah.
So what are you working on right now? What other projects can you tell us about? You've got the museum, you've got the toy project. Are there any other clients that you're working with right now, or are there other clients that you're looking to work with right now?
We have one client. It's very. It's not in the toy category or in the government unit category. She is actually a jewelry producer. So they produce something very fancy. It's like a pearl necklace. It's like a real pearl necklace. You can purchase and give to your wife or girlfriends or boyfriends. Yeah, they want to their luxury to go digital, but it's kind of challenge to our team because oh my goodness, how can you make the necklace go digital? So we discuss back and forth with them. We brainstorm with them. We present like 5 proposals with them, and they pick one, and we helping them to build out a prototype right now. So it's pretty interesting as well. Yeah.
So does your technology integrate with social media networks or with other apps at all, or is it within its own app, or how does that work?
Well, for right now, I think social media is actually definitely something we will look into for the next step. But right now, we focus on the location-based the service and also the augmented reality right now. I think we should master this, and for sure, yeah, we can expand to social media and have more influence later. Yeah.
Great. So if people want to learn more, what's your booth number again?
Our booth, it's a very challenging question. Our booth is just right by the big stage. Our logo, as you can see, is a bright orange. So you can see, it's easy to find, yeah.
And what's your website?
Our website is the TOII.io, TOII.io. So feel free to check out if you have any questions.
Anything else we didn't cover that you'd like to say?
I might look a little bit nervous here, but I think you asked perfect questions. I'm very happy to join the InnoVEX. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for being here, Alan.
Thank you.
And now we'll turn it back over to Joseph. He's going to introduce HAP to you.